He got out of the fiberglass business in Michigan and eventually ended up truck driving. He decided to go there to get us financially set for not only retirement, but to, help 3 kids go through college. He would take on anything he thought that it would benefit his family. He wasn't military. He was non-combatant. He was the driver. There to help rebuild Iraq. And that's what he wanted to do.
When I was up early that morning, it was about 4:30 a.m. We had to be out by our trucks by 7 a.m. And we already knew what we were going on our mission. We were told at 7 p.m. the night before, on the 8th of April. The first things we do was very normal, was just routine behavior, is just go ahead and do a pre-check. Go ahead and preventive maintenance and check your oil and check your air in your tires and your fuel tank. And
the soldier that was sketching a map with his boot in the gravel next to his vehicle, well, some of us saw part of it, some of us didn't.
Well, nobody ever told us why, nobody told us what was going on, and they said the roads were red, and I wasn't sure what red meant.
We left the post nearing 11 o'clock, 10:40, 11 o'clock in the morning, in there somewhere, and headed on our way to Baghdad.
We were going down the road, and we got pretty close to the Abu Dhabi prison, and all of a sudden there's no traffic. And right about then, bullets came from everywhere.
It sounded like we were in a hailstorm. It was like when you were a kid, we used to make popcorn in a pressure cooker. The temperature comes up and it begins to pop.
They would come in through my doors, they were hitting my tanker, they were hitting my windshield, they were coming hitting the engine. You could hear them come in through one door, hit the other door where they lodged in, and they're just coming in everywhere.
And then it reached a crescendo and just seemed like it never stopped after that.
And then I could hear the men crying on the radio, yelling out for help. I'm burning, help me, please don't let me die in Iraq.
Truck behind me, his trailer caught fire, and he overturned and was trapped inside the truck and burned up.
I heard one yelling and screaming and until he stopped.
Friends that I'd promised before that, if they broke down or something happened, I wouldn't leave them. I hear them screaming, I'm hit, help me, please, I don't want to die here.
I was completely saturated with blood, and my pants were soaked with blood, my shirt was soaked with blood.
It was just absolutely just sheer terror. Just absolutely, positively horrifying. And I still have that shaky sort of thing in me. It's like sitting here right now, it's like I'm still there.
The mutilated bodies of 4 people were found west of Baghdad, near an area where a U.S. fuel convoy was attacked on Friday. After that attack, 7 Americans were reported missing, including contractors working for Halliburton, a company that supplies fuel and other supplies to U.S. troops. The families were notified today of the discovery. Halliburton did release a statement saying, quote, "We at Halliburton are saddened to learn of these deaths and are working with authorities so the families can begin the grieving and healing process." 2 U.S. soldiers are missing, and also Thomas Hamill from Macon, Mississippi.
Saturday, April 10th, Monday after I got the first phone call from Halliburton KBR.
Steve, when you get back to base, please call me. I got a call yesterday saying that you were missing after heavy fighting and more attacks. You and 9 others.
And what are these rocks called again? I forgot. Dad told us, but I don't remember. Like shale?
I'm not sure.
I just turned 50 and it's hard to have to, reinvent yourself like you're a teenager again. When all your dreams go back to God too. So, he was definitely below my life.
He firmly believed that KBR and Halliburton were going to keep it safe. I mean, he truly did. He was very positive about that, right up to the end. He believed he would be safe.
He wasn't much of a writer, that's for sure. His journal's empty.
My dad had just told me he was going to Russia Halliburton, and how big they were, and how they were there to help rebuild.
Somebody knew that they sent these wonderful men out there. How can they do that? These men went to do the right thing. So, bottom line, they were totally taken advantage of.
Well, I trusted the company. I trusted them. Man, this is a Fortune 500 company. I just don't believe they would send me down a road that was closed or was going to have hostile activity for sure. That didn't even cross my mind.
And U.S. forces here are saying openly they're braced for more terror attacks, more...
We had a significant anniversary, the fall of Baghdad. We had a Christian holiday, and they converged to create what was an obvious day of danger. Halliburton and KBR had news from multiple sources, including multiple sources in the military, that the roads that day were under active combat operations and were black, closed, and or red. No civilians.
There were sitting ducks out there in military trucks on that day.
They told us we couldn't wear camouflage or anything that made us look like military. The point was clear that we were not soldiers and we were not to behave like soldiers.
He couldn't even wear a camouflage shirt on base, let alone driving a military field truck out in, the desert where there was a war around him.
Why would they send this convoy in camouflage trucks down that road in the middle of battle?
It's about contracts, I believe, fulfilling the contract and replacing us if we died. There's a lot of different contracts being offered out there, and Halliburton wants most of them. If they could have them all, they would take them all. And they wanted to continue doing business with the Army, whatever the risks were.
There's nothing but the money. There's no duty, honor, country among anyone at Halliburton, KBR.
Halliburton, KBR, some of these other firms over there are staying over there and continuing to make profits, big money, and people are just, it's a cost of human life.
Their contract with the Army provided them literally billions of dollars of revenue every year, that the contract profit and the contract profit that they made became more important than the lives of the men that they hired.
I think we're talking about what's right and the fact that you sacrificed our loved ones for your profit.
KBR killed, bag, and replace people. They tried to do it with us, and they killed my friends, as far as I'm concerned, and they tried to kill me. I know they know.
This is a case about Halliburton and KBR trying to make a profit at time of war and using civilians in an